All right, the Ready Set Go for lesson 4.2 is really designed to give you some repetition, some extended practice. So looking at the ready portion, you have just asking how are you going to isolate the indicated variable? How are you going to get it by itself? So we've got solve for x, ax equals 7. If I wanted to get x isolated, I can find x or 1x by dividing a on both sides of the equation. If I divide a on both sides of the equation, I would have x equals 7 over a. For number 3, the famous, the popular, E equals mc squared. If I wanted to isolate the m, I would have to take c squared and divide it on both sides. So I would be dividing c squared on both sides. A couple more. I don't know that I need to do all of the odds, so just to bounce around a little bit. For 7 minus h equals 0, if I wanted to isolate the h, what I can do, so the tricky part is that it's minus h. If I'm going to isolate it, that means it needs to be positive, it needs to be by itself. So I can take h and add it to both sides. So we can find h by adding h to both sides. When we say h equals 7, we have found what h is. For number 8, 1/2 y equals k. Well, I need to isolate the y so I can do the inverse. So right now it's 1 over 2. So I can multiply both sides by 2 over 1, and I would end up with y equals 2k. Okay, so multiplying by 2 or 2 over 1. Number 10, solve for x. Y equals mx plus b. Well, we need to do a couple things here. So we need to subtract b. Okay, so we're going to work our way from outside to inside, just like the lesson had encouraged. So you're going to subtract b, and then divide by m. So your x would equal y minus b over m. That says dividing, trust me. Subtracting b, then dividing m on both sides of the equation. Okay, so it's a little bit more involved there because we have a couple different things that we're doing. The set, once again, is a reflection of what we did today. Now, it's not Elvira's scenarios with her as the cafeteria manager. In this case, we've got Jackson. Loves being organized, makes a chart. Good for him. We need to figure out the units for each of these. And then down here, what do each of these mean? So I will do parts of this, just the parts that I need for the problems that I'm going to do. So M, W, and F. Number of miles ran in PE class on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Well, the units would be miles. Because if I say that M equals 15, that means that you ran 15 miles. That's a lot of miles. And then I also am going to need H for the ones that I'm working through here. So time in hours to travel to school. So it's hours. So now for number 11, M plus W plus F. I need to make meaning of what that is. Well, I know M is the Monday miles, W is the Wednesday miles, F is the Friday miles. So we have, he attends PE class on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I can say that there's not a ton of space to write, but number 11, I would say, is the total PE miles for the week. Number 12 takes that same thing and then multiplies it by 4. Why would I want to multiply it by 4? Oh, I know there's 4 weeks in a month, so monthly PE miles. Now for number 17, we're taking the M plus the H. So we're taking miles plus hours. Think about that. You've got, let's say I ran 10 miles in the week and it took me 5 hours to run those 10 miles, or 3 hours to run those 10 miles. I didn't go 13 mile hours. Like, it just doesn't make sense. We cannot combine, add different units. Okay, we're measuring different things. We're measuring miles and hours here. Can't combine those. All right, for the go, it's that reflection back on what we had done in a previous module. And the big thing here is knowing your number set. Okay, your set notation, being able to rewrite it into interval notation or the other way around. So interval notation here, okay, the big hints are here, okay, for my set notation. It tells me what I'm doing. So my interval would be from -2 to +6. Open parentheses on both sides. Why open parentheses? Because we've got less than, less than. If that would have said less than or equal to, then we go closed, like number 19. So working our way backwards, all numbers x such that x is a real number. And in this case, we are going from -4 to +7. And notice that I've got the less than or equal to here because we have the closed bracket rather than the open parentheses. For number 20, x is greater than or equal to -9. That's all it says. So think about what that means, and when you think about what it means, it should mean that, oh, it can include -9 because it's greater than or equal to, and then it can continue going all the way to infinity. And I'll do number 23 as the last one in this set, in this portion of the go. We've got all the numbers of x such that x is a real number. And we notice here that we've got negative 32 and it is a closed bracket. And we've got a negative 15 and it's an open parentheses. And you see the difference there. Closed bracket, less than or equal to. Open parentheses, less than. For number 25, thinking about which notation, interval or set, would be most appropriate, think about the interval here tells me that I can take any number in between. The set notation allows me to be a little bit more specific. Set notation, I can choose what number set I'm working in. So the real numbers, the rational numbers, the whole numbers, the integers. So for number 25, thinking about the fact that I can do a whole lot just by clarifying in here. I can't clarify like, hey, it's going from negative infinity to positive infinity, but we're only using the integers. Something to consider as you answer number 25. For 26 through 31, we are going back in the day to when you did stuff on a number line. So you've got x is less than 6. I mean, you could put out some marks, but the big thing here is open circle going left. And this right here is telling me open circle going left. You could say x is greater than 5. The two that I really want to do, though, are 29 and 31. Okay, so 29 goes from negative 7 to 0. And the tricky part is that it's closed at negative 7, open at 0. Closed because less than or equal to, open less than. And then for 31, same process, negative 15. Well, it's less than, so open. Less than or equal to, closed. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Have a great day.